It's all fun and games until someone goes too far. Bridgertons Shonda Rhimes opens up about Netflix's lawsuit against the Bridgerton Musical, and we're getting into what she has to say. There's also a very good reason you should watch The Sandman if you haven't already, a new docuseries that viewers call insane, and much more to catch up on. So let's get to it. Let's start with Bridgertons Shonda Rhimes opens up about the Netflix lawsuit against Bridgerton Musical. That Bridgerton has been a huge hit is probably the understatement of the decade, and as a result, countless fans have created beautiful content in its wake. But no one did it quite as well as the musical duo Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear, who are generally known under their name Barlow and Bear. Bridgerton did much more than just inspire them to make their Unofficial Bridgerton Musical. They even won a Grammy with it. But the tide has turned for Barlow and Bear because Netflix has decided that they crossed a line and is suing them for stealing intellectual property. Now, Shonda Rhimes, Bridgerton's executive producer, has released a statement in support of Netflix's move. In it, she acknowledges that what Barlow and Bear did was a fun celebration on social media, but now they're using their fan art for profit. The game has changed. There is a difference between composing on TikTok and recording and performing for commercial gain. Julia Quinn, the author of the Bridgerton book series, has added to the statement of Rhimes. And sadly, Barlow and Bear have slipped onto the latter and will have to face the consequences. As Barlow and Bear themselves are in the business of intellectual property, it seems like they should have known better. Next, Uncharted is now streaming on Netflix. No, you read that right. Uncharted has actually arrived on Netflix. Starring Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Victor Sully Sullivan, portrayed by the one and only Mark Wahlberg, Uncharted was in theaters since February of 2022 and made returns that would have been impressive even under normal circumstances. Uncharted follows the story of Nathan and Sully, the seasoned treasure hunter, to recover a fortune that Ferdinand Magellan amassed and lost over 500 years ago thanks to the House of Moncado. But what was supposed to be a reasonably easy heist job soon devolves into a globe-trotting, white-knuckle race to find the prize before Santiago Moncada, portrayed by the legendary Antonio Banderas, reaches the treasure first, because Moncada thinks he and his family are the rightful and only heirs of the Moncada treasure. And who knows, maybe Nathan even finds more important things along the way, like a long-lost brother perhaps. If you weren't lucky enough to have a chance to catch Uncharted in theater, you can now watch it to your heart's content from the comfort of your own home. Of course, there is a chance that you've already seen it, but are movies really better anywhere other than your own cozy bed? Following, why you should watch The Sandman on Netflix. If you're not overly familiar with Neil Gaiman's work, and specifically The Sandman, you may not be aware of the fact that it was the inspiration for numerous on-screen Sandman characters. Lucifer and Constantine are two of them, but the Sandman itself has never before been attempted to translate onto our screens, until now. And even most fans are thoroughly impressed with the results. Maybe that's because The Sandman was made with the intimate help of its creator, Neil Gaiman himself. The truth is that The Sandman was stuck in development hell since 1991, but maybe that was a good thing, because even with top-notch CGI, there's something about the original The Sandman comics that is simply not translatable into a live-action movie and can only be captured by the pure magic of drawn art. But The Sandman has tried, and mostly succeeded in setting itself apart from what we are used to from Netflix. The source material isn't just treated with respect. An effort to give a literal translation was obviously made. And while there are some changes, like changes to the gender of some already overrepresented characters, Constantine, and there is much more diversity in this version of Gaiman's mythical story, these changes and many others like them have only added to The Sandman. But in the end, these are only words. You better go and find out for yourself why so many have said that this adaptation is a rare dream come true. Hold up, there's much more to discuss. Did you really think that was all we have for you? We're wondering whether Ratched is ever coming back to Netflix. Don't you? What is the new docuseries that has viewers left in shock? And what new name might soon be attached to the new Netflix original, Unleashed? Make sure to watch until the end of the video to find out. First up, is Ratched ever coming back? It seems like forever ago that we heard any news about the Netflix original series Ratched. Or was it actually forever? Because we seem to remember that the Ryan Murphy series was a 2-season pickup from the start, but it's almost 2 years ago since the first season dropped on Netflix, and it has been awfully quiet around the psychological thriller. Is it time to worry yet? Ratched was designed as an origin story for the classic literal character Nurse Mildred Ratched from the book One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It currently has only 1 season and 8 episodes, starring the amazing Sarah Paulson. The series is absolutely something else and was received reasonably well. Not nearly bad enough to be cancelled, you'd think, but by now we should have heard something. At the very least, we should know whether there's even been a script written or hear about some kind of announcement regarding casting for the new season. But none of this is the case for Ratched, despite that 2-season deal. And now, fans have to digest the fact that even Sarah Paulson herself has absolutely no clue what's going on with her own show. In an interview with Variety in August of 2022, Paulson said she had no idea if a new season for Ratched is in the works, and if she doesn't know, it's obviously nowhere near coming to our screens. Not exactly what fans want to hear, but there's no denying it's possible Ratched was another casualty of the pandemic. Following, fans left in shock after watching watching Trainwreck Woodstock 99. The beginning of August saw the release of a docuseries called Trainwreck Woodstock 99. It takes a closer look at the U.S. music festival that degenerated into an epic train wreck of fires, riots, and destruction. In it, you'll find rare insider footage and eyewitness interviews with an amazing list of festival attendees, staffers, and even performers who were there in crucial moments. Trainwreck goes behind the scenes, revealing the egos, greed, and the music that fueled those 3 days of complete chaos. And that chaos has not gone unnoticed to those who have already gotten their teeth into the new docuseries. The overwhelming majority of those who took to Twitter once they had re-established their equilibrium said the docuseries is simply insane, many of them commenting on the fact that for once, there's actual footage instead of lame reconstructions, or worse, stock footage. Trainwreck makes blatantly clear not just that everything that could go wrong also did go wrong, but why. As is often in cases of stupid, even preventable tragedies, the motive was money. What was supposed to be a celebration of the legendary 1969 Woodstock, which took place on a rural New York dairy farm and defined the era of the hippie, ended as what can only be called one of the worst versions of hell. But enough said, this is one of those you simply have to watch in order to get the picture, so we suggest you go do just that. And now, Dave Bautista is in talks with Netflix to star in the Netflix original Unleashed. The Netflix original Unleashed may have found its leading man. Well, unless his canine co-star will be stubbornly female, given the dog's name is Zeus at the moment. We're talking about Dave Bautista, who you may know from Guardians of the Galaxy, but aside from being in talks about portraying the main human character, he may also be up to produce, alongside his partner Jonathan Meisner, Chris Bender, and Jake Weiner. Unleashed is about a police officer whose best friend is his canine partner Boomer, who can sniff out any crime. So when Boomer dies on the job, the officer vows never to have canine partners again until he's teamed up with Zeus. Jim and Brian Kehoe have been tapped to executive produce, boosting the great momentum they've been building up lately. None other than Rebel Wilson is attached to their comic script Double Fault, who'll be starring and producing with Todd Garner's Broken Road. As it is really early stages for Unleashed, and Bautista is only in talks with Netflix as of now, there's no way to guess when we'll get to see Unleashed, but it's looking promising already. And that's it for now. Do you agree with Shonda Rhimes and Julia Quinn? Is Netflix right to sue Barlow and Bear, or should they be allowed to monetize on their fan-based production? Let us know in the comments what you think about it, and thanks for watching.